back onto that point of Gareth Bale, because look, it's of course easy to say he's been fantastic in the last couple of weeks, but as the comment said a second ago, we do really need to see him do that against the better opposition. Now, he hasn't quite had the chance to do that yet this season, and you can only really beat what's in front of you, and he's been doing that with aplomb in recent weeks. He got that goal away to Wolfsberger, got an even better goal at home to Wolfsberger then in the return fixture, and of course the two against Burnley yesterday. That second goal was an incredible finish. It was reminiscent of the Gareth Bale that we sold to Real Madrid 8 or so years ago. He was so confident, got that ball. The first thing he wanted to do was get it on his left foot and whip it into the far corner. And even though the defender knew what he wanted to do, it's still so much more difficult to stop that when a player is as confident and is as on form as Gareth Bale is. And on that second goal as well, I think people are kind of underestimating the importance of that decoy run from Lucas Moura. He making the run from kind of in the centre of the park out to the left-hand side, which dragged Charlie Taylor away from Gareth Bale, which opened up that space on the far side. Son playing that crisp ball into his feet, and Bale one touch onto his left foot, and an emphatic finish into the far corner that no keeper was going to stop. Nick Pope didn't even make much of an effort there, but as I said, that's 7 goals in 4 games, or 7 goal contributions in 4 games for Gareth Bale, with 4 goals and 3 assists. Again, against weaker opposition, but it's a massive improvement to what we saw earlier in the season. And after that cup game against Wickham, I said we were starting to see some improvement from him, a bit more confidence kind of creeping into his game. And we see that even more and more now. Yesterday, he was taking players on. He's adapted his game. There's no doubt about that. He's adapted in terms of he's picking and choosing his moments to make that run past the fullback Charlie Taylor. It was yesterday, because he knows as at 31 years of age that he's not going to have the fitness and the physical ability to make those runs every 2 seconds. You know, if we want to look back at his prime performances with Spurs against Inter Milan, for example, in that Champions League campaign when he almost or essentially ended Maicon's career, he's not going to be able to do that. With the way he is now, he's going to have to pick and choose those moments, and I think he did that perfectly against Burnley. And there is still going to be an element of needing to adapt his game and to develop this new style of play that he has. But I thought he was fantastic in doing that yesterday. There was other times he kind of just creeping inside, kind of sitting in a more central role, making that space down the right hand side for the fullback. Of course, cutting in onto his left foot is where he was at his best at Spurs before, and at Real Madrid as well. He loves coming inside almost in an Iron Robin style and whipping that ball towards the far corner with that left foot, and that's how he's scoring his goals. You know, aside from that first goal yesterday, his last 3 goals have been coming in off the right-hand side and hitting it with his left foot into the far corner. And it's working absolutely fantastically. And if we can manage to overload the left-hand side of that pitch and find him in space out on the right-hand side, which is how he scored against Wolfsberger at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the return fixture, and against Burnley yesterday, if we can manage to create that space for him, he could be absolutely pivotal to us for the rest of the season. And if he can cement his place in that starting 11, I can't see why we wouldn't be able to continue, you know, getting Lucas running from inside out towards that left, Harry Kane dropping a bit deeper, and then Son and Reguilon overloading those the defenders on the opposition's right-hand side, so our left-hand side, to make that space on the right for Gareth Bale. And even look, if Bale is tracked, there's going to be even more space down that right-hand side for Serge Aurier or Matt Doherty or Japhet Tanganga, whoever it is in the right-back role, to bring that down there. And it's almost a reverse of what we did last season. You know, last season when we had that unbalanced back forward, Ben Davies sitting in as another centre back and Serge Aurier bombing down that right hand side, and we were just purely packing or attacking right hand side. If we can just reverse that a bit, do that down the left, and create the space for Gareth Bale, he won't have to be at a physical peak. His fitness won't have to be at his best. He just needs to find space and get on the ball, and he will put that ball in the back of the net. And he was doing that yesterday, testing the keeper quite a bit. And the main word to bring about Gareth Bale right now is confidence. He was so confident. He was picking up the ball. He was playing some fantastic passes. That pass that he played for Harry Kane's goal yesterday, 50, 60, 70 yard diagonal, he made look easy. Now look, the defender I think helped us a little bit by jumping, trying to cut out the ball in midair, which wasn't really going to work, and the deflection on it as well. I think it did help, but it was still an incredible ball from Gareth Bale, and he was back to his best yesterday. And it's an improvement on what we saw in those 2 Europa League games as well. It's not as though he's just staying at that level. He seems to be getting better and better. And we all knew it was going to take some time. It definitely took longer than we hoped it would. It took longer than I thought it would. But if we can get him back, if we can get him firing towards the end of the season, I see no reason why Spurs wouldn't extend that loan for another year and have him in our squad next season as well. And look, there is, of course, a time when the natural decline will begin. You know, he may get back up to 50, 60, 70% of what he was in his first spell at Spurs, and then he might start to decline. But 70% of that Gareth Bale is still an incredible addition to our team, especially when no player has been able to kind of buy that place on the right-hand side. Bergwijn's had his chance, Lucas, Lamela have had their chances, and on the right-hand side, none of them have really concreted their place down there. Lucas now is playing a bit more central to accommodate Gareth Bale, and if that's what we need to do, perfect. I'll absolutely be happy to do that. But the fact that Gareth Bale is starting to hit a bit of form now, and that left foot is looking as good as it ever did. It's exciting. It's going to be really hard not to get too excited